Good evening, my noble knights. It is I, Blaze Templar, and I'm joined today by James the Magikarp.
Close enough at this point. Hello, I'm Fisherman James.
James the Magikarp, yes. And we're here to talk about kind of an interesting topic in the Pokemon community. As you might have noticed, I'm not actually on my channel completely, and vice versa for the Magikarp.
Kind of.
We decided to collab, talk about this topic, as it is kind of important, and it's a little bit different than some of the other things we've done, so I thought it'd be kind of interesting to have input together on this one.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
So, I've actually been Poketubing since 2007 at this point, which, yeah, yeah, I know, right? Admittedly, I didn't start out very serious. It took me like half a year to get a single video up. Like, I created my channel, and then like half a year later put up my first video, and then didn't do anything for months.
No, I understand that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had a horribly slow start, and it's just kind of slowly grown over time. But over those 10 years, I can't believe it's been 10 years.
Oh, God.
I'm starting to feel old.
No, I understand that one.
But yeah, over the 10 years, I've noticed a lot of Poketubers come and go.
I mean, heck, you could technically even view me technically as one of those, because I've tried doing Poketubing and then kind of took a break and then kind of came back, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. And even I have, to quite a degree. Like, I got pretty busy during Black and White 2. Then X and Y came around, and I kind of went on the breeding thing, and yeah.
All the fun there.
Yeah, it was way too much work. I won't be able to do that. Not anymore. Not if I want to do this seriously.
Oh, yeah, no.
So, yeah, with Poketubing, I understand the entire coming back and leaving shenanigan bit, but over those years, I've seen a lot of Poketubers come and go. Like, for example, NBZ, he came, he stayed for like 6 or 7 years. He was the one who actually got me into competitive play. But then he got tired and took a break about 2008-ish, I believe. Only to come back about a year later. And he went until about mid or early Oris era and said, I'm done. I'm tired of this. Fizzy Stardust, he was actually a really big name that was out even before NBZ. And he burned out. He quit.
He
Flaming
fizzled out?
Spade, yeah, he fizzled out. If he kind of came back, he does some league stuff, but it's very minimal, and he doesn't even have his original channel anymore. So yeah,
Sad face.
yeah, he got rid of his channel. He was just that tired of it, from what I can tell.
I understand that, because I've gone through a couple different channels focusing on different things as through time, so I can understand why just kind of erase everything and just start fresh.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I always have had a difficult time considering doing that myself, even though I know I'd probably grow a lot faster now that I have a understanding on how to Poketube. If I started a new channel, I'm sure I'd grow a lot faster, but I don't really want to lose those memories.
No. Especially now since you have the more than the original 150 subscribers.
I am really happy about that. Just hit 153, so I'm just but I shouldn't be talking about that in this video, as excited as I am about it.
Oh, yeah, no, true.
But yeah, Flaming Spade, he left as well. Well, I'll take that back. He's still around, but he updates very, very periodically, and he doesn't really do any battles against other Pokemon players anymore. He does like some Battle Tree and some like 12 Days of Christmas special and stuff like that. Cypher, he just recently made his goodbye, farewell, I'm done with Pokemon, and my channel. It's been a fun ride. I think he hit like 15,000 subs or something like that, so he was getting pretty big. Fireflame 216 left. Tony Flygon, he used to be an absolutely huge name, and now you don't hear anything about him. House of Wolves. He's a guy I played once or twice, and he was a really good battler. He actually managed to pull off a win on a very close match with the 2 moves last resort set, because I tricked him with Choice Scarf on his Watchhog after he Swords Danced.
Oh man,
that was painful.
I bet.
I gave him the win with that. I was pretty sad with myself. Infrareddy, I think he's left. I mean, his channel hasn't had a new video in like 4 months, so.
Yeah.
And he was pretty cool. I liked him. He was pretty laid back, pretty cheerful, and he seemed to be doing it for the right reasons, so I liked him. Shiny Luke 17, he started, and he was really growing. He got rated in a Twitch stream, and he grew like 100 subs over like half an hour or something. So he went
that's
from
pretty
like
good.
60 to 100 and like 50 over an hour. So yeah, he was growing really nicely because of stuff like that. Ragter, I haven't actually done much with him. I know he exists or did anyway, but he hasn't really done anything either. Peekawoo, Rick, Cassador Perfect, these are all names of Poketubers that used to do a lot of stuff.
It's always sad to hear that.
It is. I mean, and just listing off all these Poketubers that aren't around anymore. And then you got the ones that are kind of there, but not really, like Denchby, PK Sparks, and Wild Chase.
Mm-hmm.
And I could go on for hours on end about all these Poketubers that have left. So now that I've rambled on about that a little bit, we actually need to get to the heart of this video. Or podcast, if you want to call it that.
More or less. It's kind of the goal here.
Yeah, and that is, why are Poketubers leaving?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really?
I mean, it can come down just to like I want to say a lot of the Poketubers tend to leave probably around whenever a generation becomes either too stale or a new generation pops up and just things just don't work out as well. I would say those two might be two good hypothesized to why they might leave.
Yeah, I've seen that happen a few times. Like, what was his name? I'm trying to remember. Not Dangerous 36M, although I think he left too. Another one. But anyway, there was one guy, might have been Rick. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he was really fond of the 4th generation and hated the 5th generation. But of course, when the 5th generation ended and the 6th started, he looked back on Gen 5 fondly. So the process returned again. I can't remember who he was exactly, but I could see that being a possibility. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll admit, this generation, some of the decisions made, I really do question, and it makes me not as eager. But at the same time, it's a new generation. Things are going to change, and change isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean,
but.
Personally, I haven't really gotten too much into the competitive of 7th gen. I know I didn't start up until near the ending or right around the beginning of Black and White 2, and I only got into competitive because of, funnily enough, you, Blaze. You were my first taste into the competitive mindset, so.
My pleasure.
Curse you. But so like I understand like the differences between the generations because I know my desire to keep on playing 7th gen competitive has been kind of honestly. So I enjoy because my preferred battle set is very bulky and slow, and I know that's what this generation kind of has become. Which I personally don't view it as a negative. I know a lot of people do because they hate stall, which to you I say boo.
Well, I understand why. Stall can be really frustrating, boring, and it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. That's never fun to be on the victim of. But in all seriousness, yeah, I think that is a pretty reasonable theory as to one of the reasons, but surely that can't be the only one. I think it will amount to a few leaving here and there, but for the most part, most Poketubers kind of understand generations are going to change, and when they do, you have to adjust for them.
Very true, very true.
Like, I'll admit, my favorite generation for playing competitively is still Gen 5. Oh yeah, I love Gen 5 competitively.
I understand that. You and your Heracross.
You are still bitter about that, aren't you?
There's a reason why I have a Heracross named Bane to my existence. And it has Gen 5 all written over it.
Oh, really? But yeah, even with the rain stall and the, Eternal Weather Wars, I still really enjoyed Gen 5. But I moved on. I was able to adapt and go to Gen 6. And even 7, even though I'm not as fond of it as I was even Gen 6. But yeah, no, I mean, I think there's other elements to consider as well besides just the changes to the metagame, because just that one change be pretty limited.
Oh yeah.
So one of the things I personally think is really possibly one of the issues is actually Pokemon Company itself, the Pokemon Company, how they do their tournament system.
True.
Where VGC is a pretty amazing format. Like it's fun to watch VGC. It's fun to play, It also leaves a lot of Pokemon players in the cold.
Yeah, I know. I can kind of agree to that.
Because I love playing Pokemon. Oh, if I want to play in the World Tournament Championship Series, I have to do this exacting thing exactly this way, and it's doubles.
Mm-hmm.
And even the idea of having it at doubles, I think is kind of ridiculous, because the only reason why the tournament started out as doubles was because it was Gen 3 when the Worlds were first established.
Mm-hmm.
So they were using the new gimmick.
Yeah.
And like they'd use like the Coliseum or XD games to put it on the big screen for people.
Best games ever.
They were great. I won't argue that. But that means that the gimmick, if you will, it's a good gimmick, don't get me wrong, became the standard, despite the fact that Pokemon is and continues to be, by large fact, single playing, single strings. And even if you don't want to get rid of doubles, that's fine. Make it more open. Make it so there are 2 or 3 different championships, like Pokemon VGC 2017 singles, doubles, and I don't know,
Battle Royale
team. It could be even team.
I know that'd be that'd be a good meta right there. Just like have to make sure that you can teams can work together. I don't know if they would allow them to communicate or not. Probably, but yeah.
Probably I would think so. They might have to like write it down or gesture or like indicate screens. Like the team members could screen share or peek each other, kind of thing.
Okay, makes more sense there. So you can't like actually verbally speak, just more like a pointing, gesturing, kind of like, and that makes more sense anyway. So you're not just like use flamethrower. Oh, he's gonna use flamethrower. Click, protect.
Exactly. So I mean, I think that's one of the big limiting factors is that it is only doubles, but it's even more than that, because like if you look at the 2016 VGC, people. Yeah, exact. Well, it's more than that. Like Mega Blaziken, Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, Talonflame, Mega Kanga, and Mega Rayquaza were known as the Big Six.
Ugh.
And it was exactly why, because that was all that was being used.
Hey, look, it's the top 6 people all having the same team, but like one Pokemon different from each other, and it's usually the same Pokemon that's different.
Yeah, exactly. They all have Mega Rayquaza. They all have Primal Groudon. They all have Talonflame. So, I mean, the Big Six every single time. And so people complain about, like, Smogon OU being very, very cookie-cutter standard, and you only see the same 6 Pokemon over and over again. That's not true. You see some Pokemon that are on very large numbers of teams, like Landrotherian form.
Mm-hmm.
But you do not see it on every team. You might see it on 40% of the teams, which is still high.
Mm-hmm.
But it is not on every single championship team.
Oh, yeah.
So the meta, I think, kind of stifles itself to a degree. Like, look at this meta. Tapu Koko and Tapu Lele and Bulu are all over the place.
Oh, yeah, and I know even before Pokebank came into basically came to play, Toxapex was on every team, literally 100% almost. of like every user using it, and just because.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, as much as I love that water poison mush cactus thing, it's just defensive. It's not really much. It's just kind of there, just to kind of like, okay, I'm gonna take a couple hits. Cool. Did I poison you? No. Okay, I'm gonna leave now. Bye. And it's just okay. Did you accomplish? Yeah. Did you accomplish anything? No, not really. Why are you here? Stall. Of course, that's what 7th Gen's all about. So.
Yeah. Well, the point I'm bringing up with that is, so the VGC format it limits you because a lot of Pokemon just cannot handle doubles format well. Like, a lot of people will run Garchomp in doubles, but it's completely outclassed by Landorus.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's that kind of principle where in singles it does great work because it has great typing, it can do a lot of work, and its Earthquake isn't nerfed because it's striking multiple targets.
Very true.
And it can do things. It has the speed to abuse a sword stance and whatnot. So the VGC format limits your options a little bit there. And while that's all well and good, it upsets a lot of players because they're not allowed to have the diversity. I think that's one of the issues I'm trying to get to.
Diversity.
But there is one more part to the VGC issue that I think encourages Poketubers to kind of slow down on or leave with Pokemon. And that is actually a more monetary focus.
Very true. That makes sense.
Because, like, if you look at, like, the 2013, 2014 championships, you could go to the tournaments, right? As long as you, like, went to the regional qualifiers, got high enough, went to nationals, and so on. But in, like, 2016, I believe it was, they actually put in an entrance fee for one.
I mean... Yeah, I mean, like right there, that would basically kind of make me discourage me to want to go unless I really wanted to go. I mean, especially if you're flying out to there or something like that, where you're already paying to like, it's like, well, what the heck? Like, if you qualify for it, you should already qualify. Honestly.
Well, I'm talking about regionals there, of course. Okay. Nationals, I think you still have to do, but global you don't.
Okay, that makes a bit more sense.
I take that back. Which it's better than it could have been, but that's still pretty bad. Or I think it might have been with like how well you did in the tournament if you get to go to the next one for, you know.
You didn't do good enough. Pay $20.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know the exact way because I just saw that you had to pay and it bugged me.
Oh, no, I understand.
But the other thing is what they got in return for winning. Basically everything that you got was slashed in half.
Ugh.
Like your college fund would have been 15,000, let's say, or 50,000. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Slash it in half now. And that was the new winnings.
Ooh.
And so a lot of players, obviously, they were really good at Pokemon, but now all of a sudden, they don't have the monetary encouragement anymore. And I know that sounds terrible because, you know, like sportsmanship and just competing and having fun is what it should be about. But at the same time, if you're able to do more on YouTube, have fun with friends, not have to pay a registration fee, and the rewards even less, what's the point of going?
No, I understand that.
So, I mean, I think that hurts it too. So that's a thing.
No, that makes sense. And that, sadly, is kind of a true factor. And with a lot of, like, competitive stuff, is if the prize money isn't there, it sadly isn't. It might not just be worth it to actually put that much effort into it, unless like especially when you're trying to make possibly a living off of it.
Yeah,
that's the big thing. There is you're trying to make a living off of Pokemon. Yes, it's like okay, kind of bad that you should, I guess, view competitive gaming as a livelihood, which is kind of sad to have to people who say that. It's so rude.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're getting at. It'd be like going if you're a StarCraft 2 player, you devote 200 hours of your life to it every week, or you know, however many hours you can actually squeeze in, and then you're told, well, you know that $10,000 earnings you would have gotten from winning the tournament, it's now only 5,000. So those hundreds of thousands of hours you put in, and your rent check, that's all gone. So, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense that that would be a problem. Now, obviously, Pokemon isn't quite as serious as, say, StarCraft when it comes to a competitive circuit.
Oh no, nowhere near, sadly.
Yeah, no, it's not the heaviest competitive esport, but there is still a value in these things. Like, I think it was '09, they actually gave the winner a diamond encrusted DS. Yeah, valued at like $4,000.
I would hate to be the guy who tries to sell that, because then everybody will know who sold it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah.
Because then Nintendo will be like, "Oh, you tried to sell our thing. You are in big trouble." Oh no.
Well, no, they don't really get angry over that particular one,
no,
but who would want to sell it? Crying out loud. That's a treasure in itself, and not just a monetary one. That's a trophy and, a symbol of what you've accomplished. So, yeah, no, I wouldn't want to sell it anyway.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, in all seriousness, as much as I'd love to live in this idealistic world where money didn't matter, in this case, it really does play a part in things. And I think it does hurt the community. Which actually leads me to the next part, Nintendo itself.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Nintendo and the proprieties around it, that have the copyright slapdown powers, if you will, are actually really hurting Poketubers too. Mm-hmm. Because like when Sun and Moon came out, when Z moves started showing up in them, they would get taken down instantly.
I mean, isn't it right now Extreme Evo Boost, I think, and Oceanic Opera, I think it is, something like that? Mm-hmm. Those two Z moves right now are still getting people banned or like copyrighted.
Oceanic Opera, the Primavera one, I think is legal now. Like you don't get banned over anymore.
You don't get it? Okay, good.
But Pikachu's and a bunch of others are still on that. And Muse was until just like a week ago or so.
So annoying. Yeah,
and I mean, that's your channel. Getting a strike down like that actually hurts it in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
So, Poketubers and I mean gamers in general that do YouTubing already are threatened by this all the time, just because companies can be really vindictive and stupid. And if you're not a big channel, you don't have a defense.
Mm-hmm.
So it's already stressful enough. But then when you add in the big N,
you're just
quite ugly.
You just got curb stomped, basically.
Yeah, like monetizing any Nintendo game for like Let's Plays or whatever. Honestly, I don't think it's worth it unless you got like 100 bajillion subscribers, and Nintendo themselves are like, "Oh yeah, go right ahead."
Yeah, unless you're basically best friends with like half of Nintendo, you're not gonna really get away with it.
Yeah, no, not really. You're gonna get hit hard, and I mean, Nintendo is infamous for this for a reason. And so it's honestly not that safe to do. And so even though my channel has been growing and I'd love to be able to monetize so I could put that money back to the channel to making it better, I can't really risk doing that on Pokemon videos too much. I mean, I probably could get away with it because Pokemon Company is a little bit more lenient.
They're getting better. Yeah, well, the Pokemon Company, like Game Freak, they're pretty much like, "Oh yeah, no, go ahead. We like it when you people do that." But it's Nintendo themselves that sadly is the big ol'
meanie face, basically.
Yes.
So it's really quite sad in that regard, and it's a system that makes it emotionally draining on Poketubers, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a big issue that a lot of Poketubers face. Like, for example, I actually did a video not long ago about where's the fair use, and this wasn't on Nintendo this time, thankfully.
Not this time.
There was a copyright claim on some of my old videos that had like a 30-second intro, and they used the Protoman, right? Protoman, one of their songs in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they copyright claimed those and started monetizing them, despite me wanting to do it for entertainment, non-profit use.
Yeah.
Which is within accordance with the law. And those videos are not easy to do. They're making money off my hard work with those videos is what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits in all the legality of fair use. But if I were to try to get it off, and I would have to file a actual legal dispute with them. So it's not easy. And Pokemon, Nintendo in particular, is one of the more infamous when it comes to that kind of thing.
Yeah, because I know that most people don't have the money or the power or the connections to really fight for something like that. Well, that's why they don't really attack too many big, quote unquote, big YouTubers.
Oh yeah, despite it being good for everyone that content's there and to begin with, it's really heartbreaking that a lot of these companies are so blind to that fact. But it is very, very stressful for Poketubers and gamers in general. So I think that's one of the more possible reason, if not part of the reason.
That makes sense. Sadly.
Well, those are a couple of them, but I think actually the one that's the real kicker might actually be drama.
True.
For those who are unaware what I mean by that, for example, the entire hacked Pokemon are the bane of all things good, and you should like jump off a cliff and stab yourself in the throat if you use hacked Pokemon.
You're gonna go to Hiffle.
Hacked hell. I gotcha.
Oh man, but yeah, no.
And I mean the place, not the curse word with that.
Oh, of course.
I don't curse.
You try not to, and I try to.
This is a family place.
It's a family entertainment.
No nostalgia critic references, please. I don't want the critic to like burst in my room and go, "So you're gonna quote me now, huh?"
Yeah, you know you love that. He's so random.
If he did, I would just be like, my hero's in my room. Well, a hero anyway. He's fun.
Oh yeah, no, he's an amusing human being, and I love his content.
Yeah, he's got great content, but I got off the topic again.
That was my fault that time, but
it's fine. But in all seriousness, the drama with like hacked versus legit, and if you use even legit mons, but they're sped up through Pokegen, power save, whatever, you're basically the spawn of Satan. You should go die.
Yeah.
And then you got the other guys going, well, you purist, you're just arrogant, conceited, blah blah blah, and that's very difficult to deal with drama. It's a big headache. And it doesn't help the community. It really doesn't.
And so these helps divide us.
Yeah, exactly. It's it divides things. It's very divisive. I can't talk tonight, obviously.
It's all good.
But in all seriousness, it does really impact the community in negative ways, and I think that's one, if not the biggest thing, because you get this drama, you get this emotional buildup from people doing these really horrible things, and it kind of all comes together. And so I think it's a mix of all those things that I've mentioned, more than just any one thing.
Yeah, for some Poketubers, it might be more of a mixture between one or two things, but it's all of those that kind of help, like, formulate why some people just kind of sadly leave.
Yeah, it's really heartbreaking in that regard. So, I mean, I really wish there were words that could be used to explain how this affects things. But I think, considering how long this particular podcast has gone, we should probably let that end and go to the next, and see you in part 2.
Okay. See you on the next episode, or part.
Take care.
Bye-bye.